All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a little heads up for you if you do run into this problem. Unfortunately, mountain biking, Berea, my beautiful puppy, she got a nose full of Porcupine Quills right in the nose, upper lip, as you can see here. She has been such a good girl. She is tired. And first thing, they are not poisonous, which is that's absolutely fantastic that they're not poisonous. Problem is with Berea, she's too squeamish to hold still. I was able to get a couple out. And so as you can see, there's some in her upper lip, in her nose, and there's actually some in her gums as well. So there's just too many. And you know what? This is my baby, and we're gonna take her to the ER. It's not gonna be a cheap endeavor, but that's why I'm gonna be documenting this. As you can see, she's just so tired. And these quills, now a couple of different tips for you here. If you are going to be pulling them, you want to get super close to the skin if they're not squirmy, but most dogs are they're squirmy because these things are pretty deep in there. Other people have stated that if you do cut the white part of the quill, it's filled with air and it will actually release some of that air so it's easier to pull out. But even in her tired state, if I try to pull one, she would squim. I've tried to hold her down, and unfortunately she's too squeamish, and she actually scratched me pretty good doing that. So what they do in the ER is they're going to sedate her, and then once she's out, then they're going to pull them out. They're going to look in her lips. They're going to rub their fingers all along her lips, look on her tongue, look in her throat to make sure that they're not back there. So let me just kind of show you. I'm not going to do it because she's so tired, but you would grab a hold of it like as close as you can to the skin and pull, not like tugging it really quickly, but pull with nice ease and comfort. People use pliers, lineman's pliers, small little needle nose pliers, but obviously be very careful because you don't want to hurt your pup. And definitely I would wear gloves and eye protection. These aren't sharp, they're kind of bendable, but obviously it's not going to feel good when you're stuck with them. They actually bend, they're kind of weird. They're sharp, but they're not like toothpick sharp, if that makes any sense. So again, I was able to get a few out, but there's just too many and she's too squeamish. And so if you do decide to take your pup to the ER, I'll go ahead and document that. I'm here in Colorado, and this just typically happens in our mountains. I called another vet. Most vets won't be able to get you in the same day, so you're probably most likely going to have to go to the ER. If your dog is very food motivated, they could be distracted by food while you remove a few of them. But poor thing, she just needs these out, and she just needs some good rest. Poor thing. I know, baby. I know. You're my baby. She's a tough girl. She is a tough girl. After getting hit by the porcupine because she thought it was a cat, she actually ran out of the trail like 3.5, 4 miles afterwards. I was freaking out. Didn't know if I was going to have to carry her out that far. And I was like, goodness gracious, but she's a trooper. And let's get these out. Okay, let's take a look at Berea. Now, do forgive my living room. I'm in the middle of a remodel, so obviously there's no flooring down. It's a little messy, but let's go ahead and see Berea. She's doing a lot better. She's been playing out in the field here. That's why she has a couple little pieces of grass on her. But she's doing a lot better, and I do want to discuss the last couple nights. So, make a long story short, let's see if she'll let me do a shot of her nose right there. I think you can see it around, so we're not... There we go. I'll try to pause that there. There we go. You can kind of see it. So there's like a couple little spots right there. There are a couple pink spots where the quills were pulled out, and she's doing a lot better today. So today, I believe, is it the second or third day after? Today is the third day after they were pulled out, and her energy levels are coming back up. The sedation kind of made her a little bit tired. Not to mention, I think she was just a little bit thrashed from all that. So she's doing a lot better now. She is on antibiotics. I will show you that. I'll show you the vet bill so you kind of know what to expect if you take a dog into emergency. And the thing that she is doing, though, let me flip the camera around one more time, is she's actually, like in the middle of the night, she'll wake me up because she sleeps in the same bed, and she'll kind of lick the front part here. And I think what she's doing is it's just, tender, it's healing up. So I think she's licking the front part of her nose, and she just wants some scratchies right now. Yes, the baby. I know, baby. Her gums, she doesn't really let me touch her gums a little bit, so I think they are sensitive. Now, something to keep in mind is the doctor actually told me out of all those quills, there must have been probably 20 in her upper lip, in her upper gums, lower gums. She set out about 20 of them. She's a perfectionist as well. Unfortunately, pulling 3 out and 3 broke off. So she actually does have 3 very end of the quills still in her lips, and I think 1 maybe in her nose. The doctor was not concerned about migrating to any of her, major intestines or anything like that. But she said what's going to happen with the antibiotics is the body is going to push them out. So there might be inflammation. If Bria would let me, the doctor wants me to do like a heat compress on her. Her gums actually look pretty good when she just yawned right there. I haven't done it yet because Bria's like, I remember you trying to pull that out. Good girl. Face the camera. Good girl. Let's see if she'll let me. I don't think she'll let me pull up her gum here. It's kind of hard with one hand as well. But the doctor did say, and when I say doctor, the veterinary doctor did say that it would come out itself, but it's going to come out like through her gum. So there might be some inflammation. And she said she was even having a hard time like finding it. And like she would have to like cut her gum open and it'd just be like a gnarly little thing. So she said, honestly, she said, in my professional opinion, we're going to let it just come out instead of cutting her gum and trying to pull it out. So it'll dislodge herself. She hasn't been whimpering. She hasn't been in any pain, but that's also a reason if you're out in the field and you've pulled them out yourself, I definitely would have a vet check when you can schedule an appointment if you feel it's not necessary to take your dog into the ER. What they'll do is they'll check in the gum. They'll kind of wipe their finger in the gum and just kind of take a better look. But again, she's doing a lot better. She's smiling. She's wagging her tail. She's sleeping great, but just giving you a little bit of that. Now, they did do a IV on her, so they did shave her paw right here, as you can see, and did do an IV. Huh, my baby. I know. One day we'll get this house flooring in. Huh, baby. Good girl. Okay, now. Alrighty, I'm covering up obviously some personal information, but let's get to the skivvy of what a ER visit is going to do and how much potentially could be charged. Now, with that said, if you live out in the sticks and it's a family-owned business, the prices will definitely be lower than this. This is an excellent facility. Highly recommend. I won't obviously put their name and phone number and information on this video, but this was recommended by 2 different vets when I called that couldn't get me in, and they recommended this facility that has an ER attached to another facility. They're owned by the same company, but a great facility nonetheless. But this will give you a generalization. Okay, and then we've covered up the total, but we'll get to that in a second. So this is what they did do. Now, with that said, a little caveat, I probably could have saved a few hundred going to the other facility in town, but again, this was highly recommended. This was kind of a bougie place, so you're going to pay a little bit more probably, but they did a great job. The doctor came out when I picked her up. We talked about river surfing, talked about Berea. And the vet was awesome. The tech was awesome. Everyone working at the front desk was awesome. Not to mention they had a killer coffee machine and tea machine, which they better have for these prices. But anyway, let's go ahead and see what happened and let's talk about it. So, emergency exam. Now, the other facility was actually $5 more on that. And then they said they would add on to that. Now, Berea weighed in at about 52 pounds, so that does make a difference. I think anything over 50, they charge a little bit more. And then we had I don't even know how to pronounce that, hydromorphine 10 mil injection right here. That wasn't too much. And then we had an IV catheter placement. That was a little bit high. We had a nail trim I added in as well. When she was sedated, that was only $25.75. Awesome price because she scratched me really good when I was trying to pull out the quills myself. And then we have a dextromotor blah, 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 injectable. That's going to be $43. We have another, looks like the same one, a 500 milligram. Oh, yeah, that's the sedation. And the veterinarian actually told me that after she does her normal dose, Berea was just chilling and is like, that's all you got? And so she's like, okay, she a tough girl. So she had to give her a little bit more for sedation. And then we have the this one, the blah, 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 whatever that is. That, I believe, is for getting her out of sedation. Where she's not all groggly moggly. And then the quill removal procedure with 15 quills, that's really high because obviously there were so many. That's at $309. And then we have the antipizomozababa, whatever that is, injectable. I don't know what that is, honestly, is 44.36. And then the only prescription, I took them home, and these are the antibiotics, chewable tab, 14 tabs, twice a day for a week. That was actually pretty expensive, the antibiotics. And then lastly, the sedation monitoring for the vet to monitor her while she's under sedation was $231.75. Now, the original quote was actually like $259 more, which I paid, and then I came back, and then they refunded me because the vet didn't do everything under the original estimation. Now, originally, it was the total of this, $1437.77, and I said, ouch, good night. I said, Berea, you're going to be doing some dishes. But then after a little bit of a refund, it went down to $1178.52, which is crazy high. But praise the Lord, it wasn't anything worse, and praise the Lord that my pup is home safe. So that's a very expensive bike ride, but I love my baby, and she's doing absolutely fantastic now. Now, with that said, when I did bring her home, she was definitely not interested in eating or drinking anything. She just wanted to go to bed because unfortunately another dog came in with a medical emergency that was of more high priority. So Berea actually was on some painkillers and actually had to wait her turn. So I didn't pick her up until quite a bit later in the evening time. But you know what though? Another dog has priority to save its life. So praise the Lord that happened as well. So she's pretty, she got her nail trimmed, but she did not eat when she came home that night. She just sacked out and went straight to bed. Her appetite was almost there. I'd say about maybe, I didn't load her up normal. I kind of like lessened the quantity. She ate everything the first day. And then the second day, she left a little bit of pumpkin because I gave her pumpkin and organic cottage cheese and organic chicken on top of her natural dog kibble as well. And today, that's the only thing she's left in there out of 3/4 of a cup. So she's doing a lot better. Praise the Lord. And that is my wonderful video for you, what to expect, potential costs. If you wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up button on the video, helps out Berea and I, and we appreciate you. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, tech reviews, DIY house projects, and more. I'm Chris, this is Berea, and we'll see you on the next one.